Can they pull it off?
Well, look, I mean, Amazon has, 100 fulfillment centers and sortation centers in the U.S. 12 years ago when they announced Prime, maybe it was 5 or 6. And so, not only have they gotten closer to major population centers, they've got vans and trucks and airplanes. It's going to be expensive. Brian said on the call that, I think he said it was a $800 million quarterly hit. It's going to hurt margins. But the other thing is that, 2-day shipping is kind of old news, right? Walmart does it, eBay does it. Some companies don't even charge for these shipping clubs. And so Amazon is, again, raising the bar and forcing all those competitors to invest as well.
Now, that said, and this is purely anecdotal, when I've needed something fast, I've tried Amazon 1-day shipping, and I feel like 1 out of 2 times it just doesn't come in 1 day, certainly. And I get this note saying your package is taking longer. So, I mean, talk to us about, Darren, the risks of not delivering when you promise this.
Yeah, so what I think this is by Amazon is basically a shot across the bow to the physical retailers, the Walmarts and the Targets that have hundreds of retail locations, have seen a lot of upswing in customers who buy online and then pick up in store. And I think what Amazon is saying is the kinds of products that people care about with 1-day shipping are FMCG products, right? Shampoo, deodorant, paper towels, things like that. And what they're doing is saying, I'm going to take some of this massive war chest, spend $800 million on 1-day shipping, bet that my logistics is going to make this work, and force everybody else's hand, right? I mean, this is a pretty interesting move for the other retailers to match.
Now, even though the competition may be catching up, I have this chart here in my Bloomberg, which shows Amazon's market cap compared to Walmart completely dwarfs Walmart. Brad, talk to us about some of the trends we're seeing in the e-commerce business. I mean, why is e-commerce plateauing, growth in the e-commerce business plateauing?
Well, one possible reason of we've reached a point where kind of the growth areas are those things that you need immediately, right? So it's the drugstore items, it's the supermarket items. Amazon's been trying to crack the grocery business for a long time with not a lot of success. The Whole Foods business is somewhat flat. And so, Darren made the point, like moving to next-day shipping, it can be a platform to drive further into all those businesses, even healthcare. When you order some even over-the-counter drugs online, you don't necessarily want to wait 2 days if you have a bad cold. And so next-day shipping gets them closer to these hard-to-crack categories.
Now, Darren, you've been drilling down into some of the other trends, including clicks on ads and how that business is doing. What have you seen? Yeah,
so the advertising business, even though it's growing 34% quarter over quarter, what we see is that the percentage of product views that come from a sponsored search, so the effectiveness of their inventory, has pretty much plateaued at about 10%.
So what does that mean?
So the total volume of sponsored searches is still going through the roof, right? It's 40% up quarter over quarter. What Amazon's going to have to do is they're going to have to invent new products. They're going to have to come up with video ads to compete with Facebook. They're going to have to watch out for competition. Walmart, that same 10% stat on Amazon is 1.5% on Walmart. Walmart's out buying ad tech companies. They're taking digital ad sales in-house. So I think that advertising business is one that Amazon's going to have to pay a lot of attention to on the innovation side.
Brad, we've talked about how Amazon is sort of behind Google and Facebook, but could be catching up in terms of the digital ad business. Are you optimistic about its advertising business, given how big the other businesses
obviously
are?
There's a big opportunity there, but it's never quite been in Amazon's DNA, right, to put a video ad on the site or to put a banner ad on the site. They've had this remarkable growth in the ad business, almost in spite of itself, right? Finding ways to insert ads into search and onto product listing pages. So I think the opportunity is there, and kind of the biggest challenge is whether they really want to do that, because they're famously, customer-centric company. Customers don't really want to see a good ad. Yes, you can rationalize that it leads to a better search product, but it can oftentimes be a distraction and a worse user experience. So Amazon's going to really have to go for it and maybe sacrifice some of its values.
Now, Darren, I wonder, how long is it going to take for other retailers to catch up, for delivery services like UPS and FedEx to catch up? And then what will Amazon's edge be? Well,
I think Amazon's got an edge. I mean, they are a logistics company in a lot of ways, just as much as a technology company. So I think they've got a good edge if they can execute against this 1-day shipping. And then I think, as Brad mentioned, if they choose to get serious about advertising, or more serious than they've been, I think they've got a big opportunity. I just think they have to decide at the end of the day, are they a marketplace? Are they an advertising company? Are they a little bit of everything?
Well, and they're going to invest $800 million to push down these delivery times, Brad. Is that going to cut into the bottom line?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and they warned on the call that it compresses margins. One thing they can do, though, is, you can assure that everything is delivered in a day, or you can only show customers a selection of products that apply for Prime shipping. And so, they can kind of gradually move products into and out of the Prime window, and I suspect they'll do that and really manage their costs over the years ahead.